This is a digital SAT practice test, reading and writing. This is a grammar test, grammar practice, 10 problems. All right, let's see what we got here. Flemish giants, members of one of the largest breeds of pet rabbit, weighs up to 22 pounds. Okay, that's not right because I think they're trying to throw us off here with this fact that there's a singular verb here, so it looks like it makes sense with a singular. I'm sorry, what did I just say? There's a singular noun here. It looks like, oh, maybe it makes sense with a singular verb, but actually the subject of the sentence is here, Flemish giants, which is plural, and so it needs a plural noun. Flemish giants weigh. Despite their gentle and amiable personalities, dachshunds were bred to be hunters. Their shape allowed them to scurry down burrows and after small animals. Dachshunds were bred to be hunters. So, some kind of a separator there. I don't think a comma is strong enough as a separator there. What else do we have? Looks like a colon. Dachshunds were bred to be hunters. Maybe. C is not right. You can't just run the whole thing together like that. Dachshunds were bred to be hunters and their shape love. So now you've got kind of a run-on sentence. I'm not wild about this colon, but it's the only thing that we have that makes any kind of sense. Writing to soothe his dark and troubled soul, Edgar Allan Poe crafted The Raven as both a metaphysical poem and an ode to his deceased wife, Lenore. Um, okay, this is pretty easy. When you have an introductory phrase like this, whatever follows it has got to be like who's doing the writing, okay? If you don't have that, right after the introductory phrase, you've got what's called a dangling modifier. Writing to soothe his dark and troubled soul, the raven, but the raven wasn't writing. Metaphysical poem wasn't writing. Both C is not good. You need to follow this by saying who was doing the writing. It was Edgar Allan Poe. No change. A supermoon happened at the closest point to Earth on the moon's orbit, also known as the perigee. Yeah, okay. Well, so we've got a sentence fragment here at the end. What else can we do here? Supermoon happens, orbit also. Okay, so this is not good. You need some kind of separator. A semicolon is not an improvement over a period, but something. I mean, a comma is fine. It's just there's just a natural pause in the sentence there. Closest point on the moon's orbit, also known as the perigee. So let's go with D. If you visit the Four Corners Monument, you could have stood in New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. All right, if you visit, it's sort of a hypothetical. It's like a future tense, and then it goes into past tense. You could have stood. It's not good. C is also past tense. You will have been standing. If you visit, you will have been standing. That doesn't make any sense. You can stand in these four states. So let's go with B. Giant Chinese salamanders, which can grow up to 6 feet in length, wow, are known for their crying baby vocalizations. A 6 foot salamander with crying baby vocalizations. Well, okay. The only thing we're allowed to change is this length hyphen. Now, if you wanted to put a hyphen where this first parentheses is, that would be okay as far as setting off the additional information. But what you can't do is put a parentheses at the beginning and a dash at the end. So what we need is another parentheses at the end. While investigating the feeding strategies of two Middle Eastern beetle species, one scientist at Tel Aviv University in Israel observed a larva which not only survived being eaten by a toad, but subsequently ate its predator. Oh, God. That's upsetting. Well, Jesus, this whole thing is really, just thinking about it is really throwing me off. But I mean, it's an easy question. It's IT apostrophe S. Unlike the typical rules for possessives, IT apostrophe S is a conjunction for it is. The possessive form is just ITS. So let's go with that. Because frog eggs have no shell, yet must be kept hydrated to ensure proper development, external moisture is imperative for its development. No. The subject here, frog eggs, is plural. So we need a plural. We need a plural here, not a plural pronoun. Their development, imperative for their development. After becoming the first squirrel monkey to survive a space expedition, Mrs. Baker lived for 27 years and was married, quote, married, unquote, twice. What does it mean for a squirrel monkey to be married? Was there a divorce in between the marriages? I don't know. Anyway, this sentence is fine. You can't use any of the other choices here because again, you're going to have a dangling modifier. If you have a modifier like an introductory phrase like this, it has to be followed by the subject of the sentence, which is Mrs. Baker. So no change. The Voynich manuscript, still undeciphered to this day, has puzzled linguists for decades. All right. Setting it off with hyphens is probably not bad, but you would need a hyphen at the end, which we don't have, so we can't use this. This thing with no punctuation, just running it all together, no. The Voynich manuscript, comma, still undeciphered to this day, comma, yeah. So you're setting off a dependent clause. The sentence, I mean, you could take it out, the sentence would still make sense. The Voynich manuscript has puzzled linguists for decades. So we can set it off with commas like this. All right. That's 10 out of 10, right? So that is it for SAT grammar. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and see you next time.